Hello again, and the title of lesson 4 is Every Sentence Tells a Story. If every picture tells a story, why not every sentence too? And we're going to go back to that infamous verb get for a moment. Don't worry, then we should be looking at other verbs too. And repeating something for a moment that we said, because this what makes the sentences tell stories to a certain extent. That is the presuppositions, what happened before, and the entailments, what happened afterwards. So if we take a sentence with get, which has a compound predicate, Jill got Jack to drive, we know that probably Jack didn't want to drive. Then Jill persuaded him or kicked him or used some other means, and afterwards Jack drove. So we've got a little story, not a very interesting one, pretty boring. So let's change the verb. Let's change it to other verbs which have presuppositions and entailments to make stories. These verbs are, including get, of course, we'll never get rid of him, let, make, and have, so-called causative verbs. So we have Jill let Jack drive, and Jill made Jack drive, and Jill had Jack drive, where Jack wanted to get drive, so Jill let him. Jack didn't want to drive, but Jill made him. And it was normal for Jack to drive because of the relationship between Jack and Jill. And Jill had Jack drive. Okay, but we're fed up with Jack and Jill, aren't we? So let's change the names and change the story. Nothing about driving. And let's go to one of the most famous storytellers in history, William Shakespeare, and possibly the most famous love story in history. That's it, Romeo and Juliet. Romeo and Juliet. So what happens, how did Romeo meet Juliet? Of course, we all know the Capulet family, Juliet's family, held a ball, a party, and Romeo and his friends gate crashed the party. Romeo saw Juliet for the first time, fell in love with her, approached her, and got her to kiss him. Okay, got her to kiss him. Change the verb. And of course it was true that Juliet let Romeo kiss her. She let him because he wanted to, and she gave him permission, as it were. Of course, if we change it to make, it will be very different. If we change it to have, let's change the story. We'll change the story in such a way that this party is not thrown by Juliet's family, the Capulets. It's thrown by Romeo's family, the Montagues. And Juliet gate crashes the party, dressed as a man and of course wearing a mask because it's a masked ball. She sees Romeo. She's a woman, although she's dressed as a man. And she falls in love with him. She approaches him. Romeo, of course, sees a man in front of him wearing a mask. And when she tries to persuade him to kiss her, he sort of thinks, well, I don't really feel like kissing a man, not at the moment anyway. But gradually, okay, Juliet raised her mask. Romeo saw it was a man. Oh, a woman. And he let Juliet kiss him. Change the situation again, and if Juliet had to use some force, then Juliet made Romeo kiss her. And what about the half one? Well, in the half one, we'll have to change the story again. This time, let's say Romeo and Juliet are married. And of the two, Juliet comes from the far superior family, and she's superior in every way. So Romeo more or less does everything that she wants him to do. And in the morning after breakfast, Juliet has Romeo kiss her. So we've got different stories simply by changing the verb. Right, now you think about it, you can practice it. You can practice it by, I'm going to give you the names of 4 people. They're all women from the past. And I'm going to give you the key sentence of the story. You try to think what the presuppositions were, what happened before, and what the entailments were, what happened afterwards. The first character is personality is Phyllis Wheatley. That's Wheatley. And the sentence is, Phyllis Wheatley got the class to read her poems. Go and find out who Phyllis Wheatley was. It's interesting. The next person is Mary Seacole. That's Seacole. And the sentence is, the War Office didn't let Mary Seacole heal wounded soldiers. She was a nurse. Look her up. Personality number 3 is Fanny Eaton. That's Eaton. And the sentence, Fanny Eaton made Rossetti paint her. See what you could do with that. Rossetti, of course, the famous pre-Raphaelite painter and poet. Find out who Fanny Eaton was. And the last one is Evelyn Dove. Dove. Evelyn Dove. And the sentence, the nightclub had Evelyn Dove sing. See what you can make of those sentences, because every sentence tells